Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome on in. Welcome in, everybody. Um,
Resisting not to laugh.
well, you might as well.
Welcome to the Two of Us podcast. We are
Yeah,
talking about Batman Begins today.
yeah. Um, we just had a sudden urge to talk about Batman.
Yeah, I mean, with the new movie that came out, strike the
Yeah,
iron while it's hot.
yeah, that's very true. I agree with that.
But
Um,
Batman Begins is a special movie to me because it gets a lot of things right and not a lot of things wrong.
yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can. It's like when I first saw that film, it was a masterpiece. It was like a chef kiss to Batman.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we
and
really hadn't, up to that point, seen anything like it, right?
yeah, we really haven't.
Because, like,
We haven't. No,
no, go.
sorry. We're kind of sorry, everyone out there. We're kind of
We're a
a
little
little.
excited, okay?
Yeah, we're very excited here. Um. Anyways, continue. You're saying.
I think Batman Begins really showed off something about Batman that we didn't really get before that. And it showed off his origin, with
Yeah,
Ra's al Ghul and stuff like that. I know they call him Ra's, but it's Ra's, damn it.
yeah. I think by this point, I don't really say his name, but like in a movie, I'll just say the term that they use in the movie.
Yeah,
Because it's the movie version of him.
I just prefer the Ra's al Ghul thing.
Hmm.
I don't know. But um with Batman, they really did Bruce Wayne right in this movie,
Yeah,
in my
they really
opinion.
did.
Like, Christian Bale, I don't really love him as an actor. I think he's very talented, but I don't really absolutely fall over for him, right?
Yeah.
And like, the thing I've always appreciated with him is he is a massive dude. Like,
Hmm.
he is huge, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
he was always seen in this movie as kind of like a force of nature.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Um, one thing I would like to add to that is that I think I remember I was I was watching an interview of him.
Hmm.
I don't know if it was for the Batman or another film, but someone asked him, um, you know, sort of his weight differences throughout the movie,
Hmm.
like the three films, and then apparently the director and the producer just told him, uh, just to uh just to build, I guess, a body or something like that. I can't recall what they told him,
Well,
but
I
he
know
just
the story
said,
of this a little bit. So from what
hmm,
I remember,
yeah,
Christian Bale had done three movies in between the Batman movie. You know, in between Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. One where he lost like 40% of his weight. He went from 200 to 130, 140.
yeah,
And then he had to bulk up completely. And
yeah, it
that
was
was
something like that.
that seemed very grueling.
Yeah,
God.
I mean, yeah, especially for him because from what he said whenever when he was doing the films, he didn't have anyone to a nutritionist, you know,
Yeah.
um to pretty much guide him through all that. He just kind of he freelanced it, which could have been dangerous, you know. I mean, it is a dangerous thing, but
Yeah.
at least he's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what matters. Just as long as he's okay. But yeah, like
I hope he never does that for another movie because damn, that looks like it sucks to do.
yeah, I can agree, man. Cause like I don't know. Like, imagine the mood swings he had.
Yeah,
You know,
just be
like
like, I'm
one,
hungry and I can't eat.
yeah, and then like one day he's all happy, like pretty much for Batman because he had the bulk up, he was eating nice, and then the next film he eats nothing, literally like a drumstick. I think was his words,
Oh,
like a drumstick a
jeez.
day. Oh Jesus.
Jesus, man. That just hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, you may not be like a good, crazy fan of his, but
Uh, I would
I actually admire a lot of his work. For
I
me,
liked him
personally.
more in American Psycho than
Hmm.
the Batman series.
Yeah,
Because I feel like if they brought that kind of personality of uh who he was in American Psycho to his Bruce Wayne character, which I feel like he does sometimes,
yeah,
uh I feel like he would have been a lot better.
yeah,
I'm not saying he's bad though. He's a very talented actor.
hmm,
It's just I think there are moments where I think he should have been better a lot of the time. Like I think we should address the elephant in the room with the Batman voice.
yeah,
This voice has been made fun of time and time and time and time again. And I'm not going to say it wasn't deserved,
yeah,
but, and this is a massive, massive but,
hmm.
sorry, I'm trying to
No, it's okay.
get something.
That's okay.
This is a massive, massive but. Christian Bale, like, he kind of coined the Batman voice.
Yeah,
Like, it's automatically what you think of when you think of Batman now, you know? At
yeah,
least
isn't it?
when I think of Batman, I think of the Christopher Nolan movies, especially this one. But there are
Yeah,
moments in this movie where Batman is talking normally without the voice smoke or chain thing, and
hmm,
he sounds great. He sounds great as Batman. And then there's moments when, like, when he's talking to somebody personal, like Rachel,
yeah,
he's talking a lot more normally, and that sounds great to me. But they got rid of that going forward.
yeah. I think I get. I think I'm kind of. I get what you mean because sometimes, like the scene where he's interrogating the uh Gordon's partner,
Yeah.
where um you could see like you could see that he's kind of trying a little too hard,
Mm,
like in the voice for the Batman on that scene. But then when you have like the scene like where he's talking to Rachel, um, it just that voice when he talks to Rachel, it's a lot better to me.
it's a lot softer as well.
Hmm. Yeah, like you could tell that he's not putting a lot of crazy effort into it because Bruce Wayne he has his own voice,
Hmm.
and it's not the voice that he used clearly for Batman. Um, but I don't know. It's just sometimes when you hear him throughout the movie, he kind of his voice just kind of alternates a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
because you have like a good scene like in the beginning, when Batman is first introduced in the docks, and he's literally talking like how he was talking to Rachel.
Hmm.
Like when the criminal asks where he was, and then he just says, it's he just
Yeah.
says here, but it was a softer tone. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the tone that he used against Gordon's partner.
The thing is, Batman in this movie comes off as what Gotham really needs at the time.
Yeah,
It needed this dark vigilante, and
yeah, I
it
agree.
really benefited them to use it. The only thing I don't like about this movie is it doesn't show Batman being a detective. Not very
Yeah,
much. That's one of
yeah,
the
I can
only
agree.
faults of this movie. Also, the action scenes, uh, compared to what came on later, the action scenes are kinda eh. Not the choreography itself, but every
Hmm.
time Batman punches, it like zooms in on the punch.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Like you don't really get to see the outer aspect of things,
Yeah, yeah.
like the full combat. I mean, I don't want to really compare it to this, but sort of like the Batman versus Superman fight scene,
Yeah.
like when he was fighting when Batman was introduced in that movie. When he was fighting in that warehouse,
Hmm.
uh, you
You're
could just
seeing the
see,
full screen.
yeah, you're seeing everything in there.
I think it's something like Christopher Nolan, improved on with later movies,
Hmm.
but it's still kind of jarring to see it here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's
But
sort of like, oh, sorry, continue.
oh, you're good. You're good.
Uh, um, I was just gonna say it's sort of like I don't know, like when you see Nolan do this movie, it's sort of like um him starting to get the hang of it
Hmm.
a little bit. Like in the fight scene wise, like everything else, I really love.
Yeah.
Like all the conversations, but I mean like the fight scenes. It's sort of like like it wasn't his area, but he tried it, and then he probably ended up really liking doing cinematography for like that type of scene.
Yeah. Definitely. Damn it. I have a fly annoying the fuck out of me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's the attack of the flies. We're literally talking about Batman, and then a fly tries to attack you.
But I don't know. A lot of this movie works for me
Hmm.
because the performances of Alfred and Ra's al Ghul work, but there's a couple of things I don't like about this movie, but I think they're forgiven for me.
Yeah.
For one thing, I didn't think the Scarecrow in this movie was very threatening. And this is sort of a common theme you see throughout Batman. He has a lot of, in the comics especially, he has a lot of potential to be this amazing, terrifying villain,
Hmm.
but they kind of squander it.
Yeah, I get you. They kind of make him more of a side character for
Yeah,
things. When he really does have a lot of good potential. I think where he sort of comes out more like Scarecrow, you
hmm,
know. Um, I think he really comes out in. I mean, I know it's not even relevant to anything what we're talking about, but Injustice 2, like that formation that he has within that game, and sort of his story in there.
yeah.
Um, it really brings out a lot of Crane.
See, that's what I
Uh,
was hoping from Arkham Knight to do,
mhm.
but it didn't.
Yeah, that's what's so sad. Because I mean, he's pretty much spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it, but I mean, it's been out for a while.
He's the main
Um,
villain of it, or
yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah, and I'm surprised like even the fear toxin didn't alternate you know, his his
Yeah,
body to people.
yeah,
Because it just kind of like he just released it, and then it just like referring back to the movie. He just releases it on the people, and it just changes his mask. Like
yeah,
I would expect like whenever when you spray some of that on someone, and if it's a high dose, I'm expecting him to like really have different bone structures start changing into something really tall and freaky. You know?
yeah. Like an actual scarecrow.
Yeah,
Because
and
that's
here
sort
like
of what happened in Batman the Animated Series. if I'm remembering right. They
Hmm.
made him get sort of tall and lanky whenever his fear toxins injected into people.
Yeah, which I mean, it should be like that, because I
Yeah,
mean, it's a literal fear toxin, and then most things that are kind of feared are, no offense, they're big. They're
yeah,
they're bigger than us.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
like if for people who are scared of spiders, um, most likely they're afraid of them being huge,
Yeah,
or
you're not
or
really
of that
afraid of
sort.
tiny things.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the movie, I mean maybe it was something like they just didn't think about it,
Yeah.
or they didn't want to, change the direction of Ra's al Ghul.
Well, a
Um,
big point of these movies is to put Batman in a realistic setting. As
mhm,
realistic as you can get Batman in. And
yeah,
that's kind of my problem with this movie a little bit more. I know it sounds like I'm dogging on the movie. There are
yeah.
points I love about it,
Don't
but
worry, everyone.
it tries to go so realistic with Batman and it doesn't really embrace the comic book nature of it.
Yeah,
And it's not like it's terrible. I don't mind realism in movies, you know,
yeah,
but I think to a certain extent to you have a man dressed as a bat, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I get you.
There's a
Um,
level of goofiness that should be there that's not.
yeah, yeah. To be honest, I think it's kind of a love and a hate thing.
Hmm.
You know, we don't want them to be realistic, right?
Hmm.
Like with Batman, but yet the movie for how it's themed and everything, we still love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's a love and hate thing with him.
Well, I
But
absolutely loved this movie, though,
oh
because the
yeah,
characters are just written so excellently,
oh
you
yeah,
know, and
I can agree with that.
Nolan puts his own style to it where you believe this world is something very interesting, you know?
Yeah.
They do a lot of great things with this world itself, and
Hmm.
they make the city seem like something like New York, like it's a huge, huge, huge city, like New York or
Yeah.
Chicago, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
And they make it have a lot of personality, you know?
Yeah, they really do. It's 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 kind of it's I don't know. It's so cool that they were able to do that though.
Yeah,
Cuz
agreed.
like especially for it to be a superhero film, and not like I guess what most people call nowadays like the rip-off ones. I don't know why they call them that. That aren't based on comic books or anything.
Yeah,
Um but for it to be like of Batman, and then just seeing how the city can relate, to pretty much like uh a normal city, like New
yeah,
York, as you were saying,
yeah,
and have some similarities to it. I think that's what struck people also, like at home as well.
yeah. It hit
And,
very close to home. It feels like it could be an actual thing in reality.
oh yeah, and then also like the thing that really immerses it is the literally the soundtrack too, man. Like
Oh
I
god,
didn't
the soundtrack is great in this movie.
I know I don't know what type of magic they put in that soundtrack, man. It brings everything like out. It's like
You know what it does? It
hmm,
feels like a huge progression of making everything seem big. And that's
yeah,
sort of what Nolan does really well in nearly every project he does. He makes the thing seem big, like this is a life changing event.
yeah, it really does, man. I mean, congrats to that, man. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's something that you can't even express in words.
Hmm.
Like, and it's the crazy thing is, it feels different to everyone else too. Like for me, when I hear the soundtrack, it I don't know, man. It makes me feel like a badass.
Yeah, I agree. It really does make you feel like it's a huge event, like you should see it on the theater, you know?
Yeah, it really does. Sorry for that voice crack, everyone. I
You're
had.
good. What voice crack?
Oh, good. But man, this movie is so good. I still remember when it came out too. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy, man? Like,
I
just
remember
mhm.
watching it in a middle school class, like in 8th grade.
Yeah, dude. I think I was with you,
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Yeah,
Oh man, it was like, I still remember like when it came out as a kid. I didn't even see it.
yeah,
I don't think I went to the theaters and saw it, but I do remember when it came out because I remember like I was school shopping with my mom,
hmm,
and keep in mind everyone we were like kids, like
yeah.
fifth grade. I think it came out in 2008, right?
No, I think 2005?
Let
Alright,
me.
I'm looking it up
You want to
now,
search it?
cause
Yeah, because it was somewhere around there, probably 2005 or 2008. Those are around there.
yeah, it was 2005.
2005. Oh
Yeah,
my God, man, we were we were five.
yeah,
Oh man, but yeah, like I remember, uh, I was shopping for school supplies with my mom, of course, and we came across like that cool like folders and stuff.
yeah,
When you go into the freaking Walmart and then you see like the normal folders, which is just plain colors, and then all of a sudden you start going into the good folders.
yeah,
And I remember they had the Batman Begin folders, and I got one, and then I got a journal, and it was like of the cover, where he's coming down. Uh, Sadly, I don't know where it is anymore.
yeah, it
But
happens.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like even then, like you didn't even have to watch it, and you kind of knew it was good.
Yeah.
I think that's just my point. But um, anyways, about the film again. Sorry, I kind of threw us. Oh, okay.
Another thing I wanted to touch on with this movie is
Mhm.
the actual characters. Like, you would think Rachel comes off as a very uninteresting character. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But she
Yeah.
really comes off very interesting for a Batman love interest.
Yeah. That's the shocking part, especially for her to not really, like in the comics, how they say, excuse me, like in the comics, how they have pretty much Catwoman and Batman love interests.
You know, I would have loved that logical progression of her ending up being Catwoman somehow
Hmm.
instead of what they went for, which I understand why they went for it,
Yeah.
but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. We'll get there pretty much in the next one because I mean,
No, that's
we're
the Dark Knight. The next one is the Dark Knight.
yeah, but um,
But
um
what they did in this movie with her was very
mhm.
interesting, making her sort of the moral compass of the movie. Like
Yeah.
also say putting limits on what Batman can do, you know?
Hmm.
Cuz he's just starting out, you know?
Yeah.
He's making a very interesting case to like Gordon like Jim Gordon, which is just phenomenal in this movie.
Oh yeah.
I believe the actor um is the same one who played Sirius Black in Harry Potter.
Yeah, yeah, Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he is amazing in nearly everything he's in.
Oh yeah. Even in the film Dracula, because he played Dracula as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know.
ironically, I really liked him in that role because he was really funny.
Yeah, yeah, I know. He really was. But isn't that kind of ironic, you know?
Yeah,
Because it's literally Batman, and then you literally have pretty much the man who played Dracula um as one of the characters in the film.
yeah, that has to
And
be a wink or a nod.
yeah, and pretty much like he him in his movie, he's just good.
You know
He
who would have
like
been the perfect actor to play um what's his name? The perfect actor to play. Oh, come on. I had the name right there.
there's
Oh, the
struggles right
perfect
here.
actor to play Man-Bat
Yeah,
would be Christopher Lee.
yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Also, way
Oh
back
my
in the day,
god.
I would have loved Christopher. Like, imagine like the Hammer version of this
Hmm.
movie, where Christopher Lee's Batman, right?
Yeah.
He's much more. It's awesome. And Peter Cushing is Jim Gordon.
Sadly, I don't
Either
know who that
Jim
is.
Gordon or Alfred. Sorry, that's just the Hammer nerd in me.
Oh, no, that's fine. Nerd out, man.
I
I
mean,
mean, it is.
not a lot of people watch the Hammer horror movies, and that's for another day.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm I I really like this movie, and I
Mhm.
part of me is always wondering, is it that nostalgia for me? Is this like one of my childhood movies for nostalgia?
Yeah.
And this was not the first movie I saw in the Batman series. That would be Batman 1989. And I saw
Yeah.
The Dark Knight before I saw Batman Begins.
Mhm.
And
Oh, as in you saw the second film
yeah,
before
I
the
saw
first
the
one?
second film before I saw the first one.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah,
I had to
but
take a sip of my drink.
oh, okay. But since you're taking a sip, um, for me, I can also feel that too.
Yeah.
Like, but for me, like I know for certain is literally one of my like I love this film. You know,
Yeah.
it's it's accidentally hit my mic. Um,
It's a great film.
yeah, it really is. It's so good. I know we keep saying it, everyone who's
Yeah, but
listening.
it really is. It really
Yeah,
establishes why Batman is so good in the modern day.
yeah,
And I don't really have any major problems with this movie on the story front. I actually think most of it's great.
yeah. I did too. Um, the story in this film. I mean, I like for it to. It's a Batman film, but also it's not at the same time
Yeah.
because most people. I mean, it's everyone has a different definition for like a Batman film. I believe. You know,
Yeah,
like
everybody wants something different when it comes to Batman.
yeah, but this one, it just I don't know. I think it can bring a lot of people together, like who are Batman fans.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like of course some people, you're gonna have likes and dislikes of certain things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whenever when you finish watching it, it's still gonna make you feel things that you don't you don't really feel with,
Many
you know,
other
like if
movies.
exactly, right.
Well, I really love this movie. I think there was a lot of it that needed to be improved, but I
Mhm.
still love this movie for faults in all of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it started Batman off on a journey and it actually continued that journey.
Mhm.
It put him in as close of a modern day as you can get
Yeah.
without it feeling extraordinarily dated, like it being a 2000s movie, you know?
Yeah. I know, man. It's what I would say ahead of its time, like with certain aspects. Like
Yeah,
like you get what I mean?
I get
It's
what you mean.
this it's a real puncher for the time, you know? Because during that time wasn't I think Blade um and the Marvel films, those were coming out, right? Like the Blade franchise,
The Blade
if I believe,
franchise, yeah, there
right?
Blade
Cuz I
came
mean,
out these like 2 years after Batman and Robin, I believe.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I didn't
two
even
or
know that.
3 years,
Oh
and the
wow.
series continued, and you can debate about how good those movies are and how bad
Hmm.
those movies are. The thing
Yeah.
is, with Batman Begins, you have to say, oh, it's a really good movie, I just don't like it, or it's a really good movie, I actually like it.
Yeah, cuz I mean there wasn't I mean other than Michael Keaton, you know, um I think everyone just saw that as Batman,
Yeah.
you know? Like that look and aesthetic. Even though Tim Burton, he did great, you know? Still good films, in my opinion. I still like them,
Yeah, they're
you know?
okay.
Yeah. But they're not like as astounding as when this came out. Like
Yeah,
this was sort of DC's statement like, hey man, we can make some damn good movies too. Mind my language.
yeah.
And
Well, it's our
uh
podcast. We can swear as much as we want, buddy.
yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's gonna change a little bit of a subject, but like when everyone um about cursing like on my aspect, it's
Hmm.
like it has to be forced out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know why. Like it's just me, you know. But anyways, back to the film. But dude, these sets where they recorded, they're beautiful, man.
yeah. They are,
Especially when sorry, continue.
they are huge as well. Apparently.
Yeah, especially like when everyone he was going to the temple. Like like whenever when I think of Batman Begins, that's like the one of the scenes that I always think of when he
Oh,
is
the beginning part
climbing
where
the
he breaks
mountain.
the flower.
Yeah, and then when they show like the ice and then the little village and then pretty much him climbing even higher
Yeah,
and then seeing that temple, man, it was wow. You know that now that like for me it looked like um where the League of Shadows would be.
yeah.
You
And
know,
this movie really states a sentiment of other Batman movies will not show Ra's al Ghul because it's done perfectly here.
yeah.
And ironically, they didn't do that with the other villain of the Dark Knight, but we'll talk about that later.
Hmm. Yeah, I get you.
But Ra's al Ghul, he's perfect in this movie. Like Liam Neeson is perfect in this movie,
Oh
and
yeah,
you don't get to see much of Ra's al Ghul in this movie.
yeah. And I think it's sort of to me, I see it more of like that is Ra's al Ghul. You know, um, mostly because you even in the comics, like you don't even see him do his stuff. You know,
Yeah,
because he he's like one of the head people of the League of Shadows, and then normally when you think of I mean, I know I'm putting it into a different term, but like assassins and stuff, you don't see them.
Yeah.
Like they're always the ones behind the curtains, especially if they're the leader, you know.
Yeah.
And um, just like I remember, like the first time I saw it, I literally would not have thought that he was the main villain. You know, I thought like it was just pretty much Batman's origin for like a little bit. You know, when I was younger, of course, but I mostly thought it was like Crane's,
Yeah.
debut. But then when at the time, uh, when it was, when they pretty much kind of scooched Scarecrow to the side for a little bit, and
Mhm.
then it was Ra's al Ghul. I was like, oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah. They kind of stiffed him.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's just kind of sad. Like they could have used anyone to be honest. Like for
And it's
Scarecrow's
unfortunate
part.
because that actor is exceptional in that movie.
Mm,
Like the Scarecrow himself, the
hmm.
parts where he showed off,
Yeah.
he's actually very fucking scary.
Oh yeah, especially like the scene when he shows Rachel about the pretty much his plan, and when the guys, all the thugs are kind of scared of Batman because they kind of already know him now,
Yeah.
and literally Crane, he's literally insane. You can see it in that scene because he's literally smiling that he is there, and the crazy thing is like he wasn't given any toxins or anything
Hmm.
yet at that point. But then whenever when Batman sprays him with toxin, he wasn't. I mean, he was scared. Like you could see it in his eyes, but a little bit he really wasn't
Yeah.
be- because he was like for him to sort of withstand him with the pretty much his joke, quote unquote, of saying like Dr. Crane isn't in right now.
Yeah.
Like it just shows that he is somewhat insane himself,
Yeah.
you know. And then even like in the next movie, you see it too, like in the beginning. But we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
But I just kind of wish they had a little more Crane
Yeah.
because he's really good in the movie. But I just don't like the way they did, just his mask to alternate, like when he sprayed someone with the toxins.
Yeah. I can agree to that.
Hmm. Well, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What would make a perfect Scarecrow in this film for you?
In this film,
Hmm.
uh, I'd go along the lines of making it seem like a horror movie to a certain extent.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
can agree
like
with that.
get Crane to have extensions on his legs and stuff, be bigger than look bigger than Batman for a second.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to indicate with the whole
Yeah,
the shifting of like his bones and stuff like that.
yeah,
That just a mask. I mean, come on.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, agreed. But also, I don't think they did
Hmm.
him very bad in this movie. I just
Yeah,
think they needed to put some extra time on him.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm pretty much the same way. Like Brain, he's still great. He's still good in this film with what they did with him. I just wish that they did a little more.
Yeah, agreed.
Hmm.
But then you get
But
to
other.
the villain of this movie with Ra's al Ghul,
Hmm.
and holy moly, he is great.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
Liam
know, man.
Neeson was the perfect pick you could have made for him.
Yeah, he really was, man. And you most people, I mean, they wouldn't really think it, you
Yeah.
know, because I mean, Liam Neeson, um, he, I don't know, I can't really describe Liam Neeson. You know, there's he just
He
has
just
something about him.
is.
Yeah, he just has something about him, you know, that
Yeah.
when he really applies himself to something, he like He's like glasses, like for your vision.
Hmm. He's
I don't know.
really great.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a good comparison, but it's like he makes you see things clear. I guess I don't know,
Yeah,
but
this movie is very, very good, though. I highly recommend
oh
you
yeah,
check it out.
oh yeah, and if you guys haven't, we're kind of sorry we didn't say spoilers for those people, but
Oh,
by this point, it's been out for a long time,
it's been
so
out since 2005.
yeah. Imagine
So,
like future people come from the past to the future. Hey, what happened to the Batman? Oh,
which one?
yeah. but um, but yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Watch this. Watch the original film
Yeah, go
or
see
one of
it.
the
It's
originals.
really worth seeing.
Oh yeah. And then hey, I mean, the next two podcasts are going to be talking about the other two, right?
Yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight and The
So
Dark Knight Rises.
So yeah, I mean, if y'all guys haven't watched it, or it's been a while since you've watched it, just rewatch it, man. Like, have some experiences, and then we could talk as a community about it.
And
What?
if you have an opinion on Batman Begins, go ahead and post it in the comments below. We
Oh yeah,
will read them. We read every
yeah,
comment.
yes,
We
we
haven't
will.
gotten one yet. We will read it, I swear.
Yeah, yeah, we will. We will 100% read it. I mean, here we want to connect with you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
We're trying to
if you have,
actively grow a community.
yeah, I mean, we're not just here just to talk about, you know, well, I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to say, but I mean, we're here to talk about, we want to spark some memories for people. It's
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, with all the things that are happening, I think it's sort of a good thing, you know,
Yeah.
for everyone to just sort of connect for something, whether it's the film Batman, The Dark
This
Knight.
the modern world, especially due to COVID, can feel so disconnected.
Yeah,
We're trying to connect you guys.
yeah.
If
So,
you're a movie buff, if you're not a movie buff, if you want to give something a shot, if you want to talk about childhood, come on. You can come
or
in.
leaves.
You
Sorry.
you can come in and talk to us about it.
Yeah, or if you have suggestions too, like for
Yeah,
something
if
you
you have
want to see.
suggestions of what you think we'd like and stuff, go ahead and share it in the comments below.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt. And hang on, I think my connection's acting weird for a second.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay, I'm back. um, but yeah, I mean, we're trying to build a community with you guys, and then come on in. Everyone's welcome.
Alright. Well,
Yeah, and then uh,
thank
sorry,
you for watching. I hope you
wait,
had a good time.
did you want to wrap it up already, or
Yeah,
because
sorry.
oh, oh, okay,
I
well,
just felt like that was the logical conclusion, man.
no, I was just, I mean, if they leave a comment, I mean, we know where they are, in
Yeah,
the video.
yeah.
But how long are we? How much?
Let me
How much are
pause
we
the
in?
recording. False alarm, that wasn't the
Yeah,
ending.
yeah. We forgot about the subject we were talking about, which was the character building in the movie.
Hmm.
Um, Rachel was done really well. It's just I don't know. Like with Rachel, she's not my favorite for
Yeah.
me, but she's not bad. She's still a good character. I still like her, well written and everything.
A lot of
It's
the
just
Batman love interests aren't written well, and this is one of the
yeah,
few I believe is.
yeah. That's true. I'll give you that. That is very true. Yeah. And anyways, skimming through Rachel because we pretty much already know her backstory and stuff. Um, let's talk about Alfred for a second.
Yeah.
Um, for him to be pretty much in the comics just as Butler,
Hmm.
I think in the comics and in this movie, what the movie does really well is that they make him more with the family,
Hmm.
you know. While in the comics, I mean, yes, he's with the family, but he doesn't really have an opinion too much. compared to in the movie.
Yeah.
And in the movie,
In the movies, he's a lot more outspoken.
yeah. And then like the perfect scene that sticks out to me with Alfred is
Yeah.
when Bruce is it was before the guy's um I don't know if it was appeal or his bond, the one that killed his parents.
Hmm.
Um when they're walking through the mansion and um you could see Bruce is kind of lost at the time.
Yeah.
Like he's feeling different emotions about things. Like especially for the man who murdered his family and then pretty much
Yeah.
just the house pretty much being empty for him, you know? And that scene, it really shows off Bruce too in a way.
Hmm.
Because Alfred's talking to him as they're walking up the stairs, and then Bruce is sort of kind of he's sort of
Lost.
forgetting who he is.
He's lost in the sauce.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's. But I think that's one of the scenes that Alfred really shines
Hmm.
because Alfred he still stays positive to the name of Wayne. You know.
More positive than
Uh,
Bruce does at points.
yeah, and I think that's what really makes Alfred stand out. That his loyalty to the Wayne family,
Yeah.
and then also just like seeing Alfred do some stuff is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like especially the scene with when he was putting Rachel in the car, and
Yeah. The one where he seems like he's fucking her.
yeah, it's but Alfred in this movie he's just so good.
Hmm.
He's literally Bruce's motivator for most of the time.
He really is, though.
Yeah.
He brings that father figure to Bruce that he needs at the time.
Hmm. Yeah, I can agree with that. And I don't know, man. Alfred's just amazing. We already talked about I think Gordon, right?
Yeah,
Already.
Gordon's good in this
Hmm.
movie.
Hmm.
He really gets a lot of depth because he knows he's dealing with a corrupt system.
Yeah, but you can also see like in the movie as well, um, that he's also feeling miserable that he can't do a lot,
Yeah,
and then and then like the scene when Rachel got sprayed, with the toxins,
yeah,
and then everyone, hang on, things going crazy again. Okay, I'm back. Um, anyways, with the toxins and stuff, and then all the cops are like outside, and they're waiting for backup, and then his partner's like, well, we're waiting for backup, and then you just see Gordon, he just walks in there, he's like, I'm just gonna go,
yeah. He just
and
gives no fucks about them.
yeah, he really doesn't. It kind of shows where he lies as well,
Yeah,
towards the whole system,
yeah.
and
He is one of the good ones.
yeah, um, what else?
Then there's actual Batman in this movie. Batman as a character is
Hmm.
very interesting in how much they expose of him.
Yeah.
They You could argue that they make him less interesting in these movies because you know everything about him. I wouldn't
Hmm.
I would disagree with that.
Hmm.
Because just because you know everything about a character doesn't mean you can't put them in challenging scenarios and situations,
Oh
which
yeah.
is what the next couple of movies really do.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah. Who else do we need to talk about? Do you want to talk about Falcone, or is he kind of already
He's
forspoken?
he's a ancillary character, honestly.
Hmm.
And in the
Mm,
comics, he was an ancillary character too. He was just a generic mob boss.
yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's very true. Um, did you want to? I think it's a good point to just wrap up. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I think we pretty much got all the key people down already by this point.
You do the
And
outro.
yeah. Anyways, everybody. We hope you liked it. Uh, we know we kind of sound a little mellowed out, but it's kind of
It's been a long
um
week for me, okay?
yeah, that's okay. But we'll have a better video tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, if you have something to say about the movie, please leave it in the comments. You know, we'll read them, and what your likes or maybe dislikes. Who knows?
Yeah,
Um, anyways, hit that like button, and if you want to support us, subscribe, and then hit that notification bell. I mean,
it
of
really
course we're
helps
gonna
us out.
yeah, it really does, and of course we're gonna upload pretty much weekly, right? I
Yeah,
think that's very true. Yeah. But yeah, uh, have a great day, everyone. Whether it's morning, night, evening. Uh, if it's morning, have a cup of coffee.
yeah,
Night, have a soda or something. Kick back, relax.
yeah,
We're here just to pretty much entertain you and talk about subjects that really we just feel like talking about.
yeah. Thank you for
And
watching, and take
yeah,
care.
take care, everybody. Bye bye.